To be clear, if a woman treats you badly all the time, it's not just her attitude, it's what she does. Respect isn't something you beg for, it's something you demand. If she keeps crossing the line, you have to ask yourself if you're the type of man who puts up with disrespect or the type who sets the standard for how others treat him. There are too many men today who put up with behavior they should never put up with. They get talked down to, ignored, belittled, and even mocked in their relationships, and instead of leaving or setting firm boundaries, they try to fix the problem by being more understanding, patient, or worse, chasing blindly. That's the worst thing you can do. A woman who truly respects you will never put you in a situation where you have to question your worth. She won't test you. She constantly puts you down. If she does this, it means she sees you as weak, or at least as a guy she can abuse without getting in trouble. When she sees weakness, she loses interest. It's just how people are. A woman only treats a man badly when she doesn't want to lose him. That's the real problem. She knows that you'll stay with her no matter what she says, does, or how much she irritates you, which is why she keeps doing it. When she realizes that her disrespect has real effects, she starts to think twice before speaking. Recklessly, this video is going to break down exactly what to do when a woman constantly disrespects you. We're not here to sugarcoat anything. We're here to fix the problem. You'll learn how to recognize the different ways disrespect shows up, why it happens, and most importantly, how to stop it without arguing, without begging, and without losing your masculine edge. Because at the end of the day, a man who allows disrespect is a man who will always struggle for respect. And if you don't start, many men think that if they ignore or are extra nice to her, she'll finally see she's wrong and stop being disrespectful. But that never happens. Instead, she treats you even worse because she thinks you're weaker because of it. A woman respects a man who sets limits. She loses respect for someone who doesn't, and once respect is gone, attraction isn't far behind. She may still be with you, but deep down she doesn't see you as a man she has to take seriously. That's why some men feel like they have to prove their worth in a relationship all the time. They never did. If she yells at you, insults you, or talks down to you, and you just brush it off or try to calm her down, you're sending a message that you don't take her seriously. You shouldn't yell or argue about it. Instead, you should make it clear right away that you won't stand for it. For example, if she disrespects you in front of other people, maybe she makes fun of you, interrupts you, or doesn't care about what you have to say. Most men would try to play it off or even laugh along to avoid conflict. That's weak behavior. The right step: tell her straight out once, and if she does it again, you walk away. Don't get angry or upset, just calmly leave. When she sees that her behavior has an effect on your departure, she'll think twice about doing it again. If a man lets disrespect happen, he will either be respected or left, but either way he wins, because losing your self-respect is worse than losing a woman. Women don't disrespect strong men, they test them. And if you fail those tests, the disrespect gets worse every time you ignore it, laugh it off, or try to reason with her. She sees it as a sign of weakness, and when she senses weakness, she pushes harder. Men who don't understand this think their woman is just being difficult or emotional. She's actually testing them to see what kind of man they are. Does he stand his ground or give up? Can she break his trust, or is he impossible to break? This is what a woman might ask herself first. Little tests. If you ignore her by doing things like interrupting you or being sarcastic, she'll soon get worse until she's raising her voice, putting you down, or outright disrespecting you in public. By the time you realize what's going on, it's too late. She's lost respect for you. This is what most men do when they fail these tests. They try to understand, explain, or even worse, ask for her approval or say sorry for things they shouldn't. That's the wrong reaction. A woman doesn't respect a man who is looking for approval. She respects a man who is sure of himself and doesn't need her approval to feel safe. Let's say she questions your choice in public, making you look weak. Strong men would argue or try to explain themselves, but this guy just looks at her, smiles and says, "That's cute, but I don't explain myself." Then he moves on like nothing happened, without arguing or overreacting. He is calm and in charge. When a woman tests a man until she knows he can't be broken, the tests stop. But if she thinks you're not sure of yourself, she'll keep testing and disrespecting you until you either step up or she loses interest in you. You don't have to play her game. Just stand firm and stop explaining yourself. It makes you less attractive. One of the biggest mistakes men make when dealing with disrespect is trying to explain themselves. They think that if they can just get her to understand, she'll stop. Or if they can just find the right words, she'll accept them right away. But that doesn't work that way. A woman doesn't disrespect you because she doesn't understand you. She disrespects you because she doesn't respect you, and no amount of explaining is going to fix that. In fact, the more you explain, the weaker you look. Think about it. Who explains themselves the most? People who are unsure, people who feel the need to justify their actions. A confident man doesn't do that. He doesn't waste time proving himself because he knows who he is, and that unshakable certainty is what makes people respect him. But when you start over-explaining, you're telling her without realizing it that you need her validation, that her opinion of you matters more than your own. And once she senses that she loses interest, she might still stay with you, but deep down, she won't see you as a leader. This is why arguing with a woman, when she disrespects you, is a losing game. She's not looking for a debate. She's testing your frame. And the moment you get emotional and start defending yourself, you've already lost. She's got you playing by her rules, reacting to her, trying to prove yourself. That's weak energy. If a woman respects you, she won't even make you explain yourself. She will trust your judgment and won't question your every move. If she does, it will be out of curiosity, not disrespect. So remember this the next time she challenges you. You don't need to explain yourself, and you don't need her approval. A simple answer, staying calm and being able to leave when needed, are what orders show. Men who constantly try to prove themselves get stuck in a cycle of needing approval. Men who are true to themselves never have to, for walk away is stronger than arguing. Most men don't get it. They think that standing up for themselves means arguing, proving a point, or making a woman see her mistakes. When a woman doesn't respect you, arguing with her is one of the weakest things you can do. If you keep raising your voice or trying to win an argument you've already lost, you're showing her that she controls your emotions and can pull you into her chaos whenever she wants, which is a power move for her, but a weak position for you. Men today have been taught that they need to talk things out all the time, and that if they just talk better, the bad behavior will stop. A woman doesn't disrespect you because you didn't understand her. She disrespects you because she doesn't want to lose you. And if you argue with her instead of leaving, you show that you're not going anywhere, no matter what she says or does. Wake up. A high-value man doesn't waste time arguing about his worth. He leaves when his value isn't being appreciated. That's real strength. Being dramatic or giving her a lesson isn't the point of walking away. The point is to show her through your actions that you won't put up with disrespect and that you'll replace her. Some guys are afraid to leave because they think they'll lose her, but let's be honest. If you have to fight and argue just to get basic respect, you've already lost her, and more importantly, you've lost yourself. Stop putting up with nonsense and wasting your time on people who don't respect you. If she values you, she'll tell you. If she doesn't, she was never meant to be with you. Either way, you win 5. She only respects what she fears. You can lose a woman's respect no matter what she says or does, or even how much she likes you. It depends on what she thinks she could lose. If she knows that no matter what she does or says, you'll still be there, chasing her or putting up with her, then she has no reason to respect you. Make the mistake of thinking that love automatically means respect. It doesn't. A woman can love you and still lose respect for you if she sees that you have no backbone. And once that respect is gone, the love changes too. It turns into something different, something weaker. She might still care about you, but she won't look at you the same way. This is where most men go wrong. They think that being available, being patient, or proving their loyalty will make a woman respect them more. In reality, it does the opposite. A woman respects a man who doesn't need her, a man who stays because he chooses to, not because he's afraid to lose her. And let's be honest, women can feel it. They can sense when a man is terrified of losing them. They see it in how he reacts, how he accommodates, how he tipped around conflict just to keep the peace. And when she senses that she stops seeing him as a man she needs to keep, because why fight for something that's already guaranteed? Respect means that a woman knows she could lose you and that she can, how much they can get away with. Women want to feel something, not because they're bad people, but because they want to feel something. When a man does anything to please a woman, he gives up his power. The worst part is that nice guys think they're doing everything right. They think they're better than men who don't chase, men who set boundaries, and men who demand respect. But in reality, women admire men who aren't afraid to say no because they respect themselves. Being kind is one thing, being weak is another. They don't run away from being kind, they run away from guys who are needy and don't have any spine. The truth, the more you try to please her, the less she values you. But the moment you stop needing her approval, that's when she starts chasing you. 7, you teach her how to treat you. Men love to complain about how women treat them. But the truth is, most of the time, you are the one who taught her that it was okay if she disrespects you, talks down to you, or ignores your boundaries. It's because at some point, you let it slide, and now she sees it as normal. Women don't just randomly start disrespecting men. It's a process. It starts small. Maybe she interrupts you, ignores your opinions, or tests your patience. And if you don't check it immediately, it escalates. Before you know it, you're in a relationship where she controls the tone, makes the rules, and you're just trying to keep up. Wake up. You don't get respect by asking for it. You get it by setting the standard from the very beginning, the way you carry yourself, the way you respond to disrespect, the way you don't tolerate nonsense. That's what determines how a woman treats you. But most men get it backward. They think if they just stay patient, explain themselves, or try harder, she'll suddenly realize she's wrong and start respecting them. That never happens. In fact, the more you tolerate, the worse it gets. Here's the harsh truth. Every time you ignore disrespect, every time you let things slide, you're teaching her that she can treat you that way. And once that pattern is set, it's hard to break. A woman mirrors the man she's with. If you carry yourself like someone who demands respect, she'll give it. If you act like a man who will put up with anything just to keep her, she'll take advantage of it, consciously or not. It's not about controlling her, it's about controlling yourself. If you don't respect yourself enough to walk away from disrespect, why would she respect you if you let her talk to you any kind of way? Why would she stop waiting for her to change? You set the tone or you deal with the consequences. 8. Respect is earned, not asked for. A man who begs for respect will never get it. But too many men wait around hoping a woman will suddenly realize she's being rude and stop. That's not how it works. Respect isn't something you ask for. It's something you command through your actions. A woman doesn't respect you because you tell her to. She respects you because of the way you carry yourself, because of the way you react to disrespect, because she knows without you saying a word that there are consequences for crossing certain lines, but most men don't enforce those consequences. They tolerate, they endure, they explain, they negotiate, and every time they do, they lose a little more respect. Because here's the truth: when a woman knows you need her, she stops valuing you, and a man who's constantly seeking validation, constantly proving himself, constantly trying to fix a woman's behavior, that's a man who has already lost the battle stop, begging for what should already be there. If a woman doesn't respect you, the solution isn't to convince her, it's to show her through your actions that you won't tolerate it, and if that means walking away, so be it. The problem is, too many men are afraid to walk away. They are afraid of losing her, afraid of being alone, afraid that if they demand respect, effect, she'll leave. But let's be honest, if she only stays with you because you tolerate her bad behavior, what are you really holding on to? A woman who respects you won't need to be begged, convinced, or reminded. She'll show it because she values you. This is where men need to wake up. The longer you accept disrespect, the more you train her to see you as a man who deserves to be disrespected. And once you're in that position, it's almost impossible to come back from the solution. You stop chasing, stop explaining, stop tolerating. You set the standard once, and if she can't meet it, you remove yourself. No arguments, no back and forth, just a simple decision. Either she respects you or she loses access to you. Respect isn't given to men who ask for it. It's given to men who expect it. And if you don't hold yourself to that standard, no woman ever, music, will. Let's get one thing straight. If a woman constantly disrespects you, it's your fault, not hers. Yours. Because you allowed it. Because you let things slide. Because you didn't walk away when you should have. A woman will only treat you as poorly as you let her. That's the cold truth most men don't want to hear. It's easier to blame women, to say modern women are just like that, but that's not the full story. Women don't naturally disrespect strong men. They test, push, and challenge them. But men who demand respect don't have to fight for it. It's given to them. So the real question isn't about her, it's about you. Are you the type of man who demands respect, or the type of man who hopes for it? Because if you have to ask a woman to respect you, you've already lost. I want to hear from you. Have you ever been with a woman who constantly didn't respect you? What did you do about it? Leave your answer in the comments, and I'll read and respond. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.